There are a lot of those questions atheists can't answer videos out there, but this is the first one I've actually had to stop and go, huh? Because this isn't even a worthwhile question. It means nothing, and it betrays why Christianity is failing so badly. So, let's go look. Here comes another small channel with the ridiculous name of Believing Thinkers. Yeah, there is no thought going on here. Certainly no intellectual or rational or critical thought. It's all just endless emotion slathered on thick because my feels are all that matters. And it doesn't matter how many times we see this in religious videos. It just doesn't get any more impressive. We know that the religious don't care about impressing the non-religious because they've really got nothing to impress us with. It's all just unrestrained emotions and absolutely no objective evidence. These things never change, and they never get any better. So it's off into the void of absurd fail we go.
Hi thinkers! I asked my atheist friend this one particular question, to which she said, if more Christian people ask me that question, maybe I had considered becoming a Christian.
Alright, I have to admit that I had to turn on the subtitles for this one, and that's not a bad thing. You know, I've looked at plenty of other videos where I've had to do the same thing, because I think all people need to be listened to, and, where necessary, criticized for their irrational views. But I just felt I had to say something before someone in the comments got mad that this lady isn't as understandable as she could be. But back to the video, what is this question that she's talking about that would make me reconsider being a Christian? Inquiring minds want to know.
I'm going to tell you what that question was in this video.
Alright, believing thinkers, that's a great oxymoron if ever I've heard one. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be a thinker and a believer too, but you really can't do them both at the same time. And that's because religion is an emotional pursuit and thinking, at least critical thinking, is not. And I find it hysterical to watch all of these religious channels that just slap intellectual labels on themselves, and then they never say anything remotely intellectual. It happens all the time. But let's see what she has to say. She might be the exception to the rule, right? Right?
Hey, I'm Erica from Believing Thinkers. In this channel, we talk about three things: apologetics, theology, and philosophy.
And not science, because science doesn't support anything that the religious have to say. And that's kind of sad, isn't it? But sure, Erica, whatever. Show us what you got.
So if that sounds like something you like, consider subscribing. My atheist friend used to post a lot of posts on social media to share her opinion on atheism and Christianity, and oftentimes her friends will join in the conversation and share their opinion, and I did too. But once when she posted this one post sharing her opinion, instead of talking about that subject, I asked this question instead.
Okay, are you ready? Is everyone prepared to reject their atheism and embrace Christianity based on this one amazing question? Because here it comes, the one question that will make you immediately believe and have faith in Jesus. It's coming up in 3, 2, 1.
The reason is because her comment, it gave me the impression that she was not struggling intellectually, but more emotionally.
Ah, so it's just an emotional plea. But what do you do with people like myself who aren't struggling at all? I've got no reason at all to take anything in any religion seriously. In fact, I spell out exactly what it would take for me to believe in any religion, and no religion can meet those standards. I entirely lack that so-called God-shaped hole. I don't need religion. I need reality, and unfortunately, religion does not demonstrably fit in. But what about that question?
Later on, she made another comment on social media saying, "My friends, you know I'm an atheist, and we have lots of discussion. But all this time you know me, there was only one person who cared enough to ask me this question."
Yeah, I don't buy it. Or, as might be the case here, it was a non-intellectual atheist. Unfortunately, those exist, and if you look at most of those atheist-turned-theists that the religious like to trot out, they are almost without exception non-intellectual atheists. They don't believe in religion for emotional, not intellectual reasons. Believe it or not, I think there are bad reasons to be an atheist, and emotions is at the top of the list, just as it's a bad reason to be a theist. There are people who leave the church because they had bad experiences, or they think that God didn't come through, or all kinds of other ridiculous nonsense like that. They didn't reject religion because it makes no sense, or there is no evidence. They did it because their feelings were hurt. And that's not a good reason for anything. Your fifis are never a good reason for belief or non-belief. Only fact is.
If more Christian people cared enough to ask me this question and get to know me more, maybe I had to consider becoming a Christian.
And that's stupid. Would the same thing be true if more Scientologists cared and got to know this friend of yours more? Would they just become a Scientologist? Or a Satanist? Or how about a Heaven's Gate cultist? I mean, get those tennis shoes ready. Christianity isn't a club. It isn't something that you join because your friends are members too. It is something that you should only believe is true if you find evidence that it's actually true. And the religious, for some weird reason, they don't think that way. So maybe this friend of hers is just dumb. I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be the first time.
The question I asked her was, what made you decide to become an atheist?
It's not a decision. It's the default position. Until someone can prove with objectively verifiable evidence that any God of any kind is real, it will remain the default position. A better question would be, what makes me remain an atheist? And the answer, and you're not going to like this answer, but the answer is religious apologists. So long as they utterly fail to provide any rational, objective evidence for their claims, I will continue to shake my head and pity these sad, pathetic people who value feelings over facts. So, it's all your fault. Maybe you people ought to be better.
The point of this video is not to say everybody go ask your friend this question, but rather oftentimes people just want to know that you care about them.
But caring doesn't make your beliefs true. It doesn't matter if you care about someone. It matters if the things in your head, the things that you profess, actually make sense. It matters if you have evidence for your claims. Like I said before, Scientology doesn't become true because their members are caring. Scientology is only true if it can be shown to be factually and evidentially true in the real world. And the same goes for Islam and Hinduism, and yes, it goes for Christianity as well. There is something severely wrong with these people.
Sometimes one of the best ways you can do that is just be there, listen to them, and get to know them.
But that has nothing to do with your religion. It's called being a decent human being. Why would anyone choose to be an atheist, in my case, just because I was a good person and paid attention to them? What rational sense does that make? Why in the world would I want anyone to do that? If you're going to become an atheist, do it because there's no evidence for religion, not because I'm a swell guy. It's just stupid.
Hear their opinion and respect them. So today's reminder for you is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's bullshit. I care how much you know, and I don't give a damn how much you care. Your caring has absolutely no bearing on whether or not the things you profess are actually true. But when you aren't interested in truth, I really don't know what to say. Christianity has become little more than a social club. It's a book club with only one book. Nobody is concerned with its factuality, only how it makes them feel.
Make sure that your friends know that you really, really care about them.
Well, that's true no matter what your religion is. It still says nothing about your religion, though, which is kind of the whole point. I guess that's why this channel doesn't talk about science or rationality. It's an irrational channel. It seems to appeal to what I call social Christianity. Those are people who profess belief because they think that's what their neighbors expect. They don't really buy into it. They just want to look good to the community. It's kind of like joining the Lions Club or Toastmasters. They do it because they want to be seen doing it. It isn't about faith, it's about religious fashion. You want to show up with a popular designer religion that will impress your friends and make them want to join as well. And I can't even begin to express how dumb that actually is.
Take care, thinkers. If you enjoyed this video, here's the video you might be interested in, and you can subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon below to receive the notification when the new video is up.
Yeah, I don't think so, because I'm going to be honest, you haven't impressed me at all. You haven't shown that you either care if your religion is true, or really that you even understand what your religion is. And I wish I could say that I was surprised, but I can't. I mean, this is a more obvious example of that touchy-feely garbage that infests religion, but at its core, it's really no different than what Frank Turek or Andy Bannister does. You never get, here's the truth, here's how I know it's the truth, here's how I verified that it's the truth, here's what evidence I have that can prove it's the truth. They don't care about the truth. That's not how any of this works. It's just, here's what makes me feel good, here's why I think it would make you feel good too, so come on over here, we'll give you a hug and you can join our club. Make sure you show up on Sunday for meetings and we'll all just smother you in love. But that doesn't prove that any of it's true. This isn't thinking, it's feeling. She needs to rename this channel Believing Emotionally or something stupid like that. Truth in advertising is very necessary here because there's no thought going on whatsoever. There's never any thought in Christianity or any other religion. It's why the number of atheists is growing and the number of theists is taking a nosedive. Stupid stuff like this video shows exactly why this happens. Keep your emotions to yourself and bring us the facts. Only the facts. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time.
Bum